Okay, here is my family court documents. Now, I haven't got anything bigger than this actual coffin, but the thing is we're talking about a mammoth amount of documents. And the thing is let's talk about what the courts ignored and why this is such a humongous amount of documents, and who actually introduced them into the courts. Now, in Brisbane here, we had someone this year who actually lit themselves up and ran to the courts because they had lost their case. Now, what drives a human being to that extent to actually light themselves up and torch themselves? I think it's very sad that the courts ignore the fraud on the courts. And the thing is you are pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and they ignore and ignore and ignore the fraud on the court. And the thing is if you don't fight, well, then you're in the box. And the thing is a lot of people are getting lots and lots of support out on Facebook. And the thing is when they're actually getting support, they're not dying, and that is a big concern to the governments, because the thing is we are fighting back. Now, I would like to go and I want to know why it is not known who is the person who was torched to death. Why is it that here in Brisbane someone can actually torch themselves, yet it's not publicly disclosed who is the magistrate who is involved in this case, or the lawyers that are involved in this case, and what type of investigation there is. Okay, so let's do a search on lawyer malpractice for Australia. The first thing that comes up is personal injury claims, 24-hour service, nice. Medical lawyer, again, nothing to do with suing another lawyer. We come down the page, and anything, and you'll find that irrespective of where you are in the world, it is exactly the same. So you can see there in Australia we have .au for anything that is Australian, and there is nothing there on the second page with .au. Now, we've already heard the quack and basically what he had to say, and we know the criminal activity there. But let's go before that as to how the criminality started. And what happened was we have a children's lawyer who basically was ignoring the fact that and protecting the mother's lawyer, and the mother's lawyer was very, very corrupt. And I'm going to go through just one of the things that she was absolutely corrupt in. And don't forget that we have a judge who I had 12 affidavits within the court, and what Magistrate Denmark did was throw out those 12 affidavits, which were uncontested by the mother, and because it proved that the mother had been deceiving everyone, and it proved that the judicial officers were there to torture me and ignore the fraud on the court. And when I actually started proving that there was fraud on the court, the children's lawyer panicked, and what she did was she actually took all the paperwork, and she actually went and because I was speaking with government in relation to the courts, and what she did was she actually took my political speeches and introduced them into the court. Now, that's illegal to do. Everyone has right to political thought, and the thing was it was actually brought into the court and used against me. Now, instead of actually, so we've got a mother's lawyer who doesn't want to know the criminality. We have a children's lawyer who doesn't want to. I begged and begged and begged to go and see her and show her and expose the criminal activity. We got 2 judges who didn't want to know their criminal activity. We've heard from Dr. Chalk saying to go get a gun and shoot myself. We've got a children's reporter, and I'll go on with him on another video. But so when I really started to expose, and I was starting to expose to government what was going on, that children's lawyer panicked her ass off, and so she took the whole lot to Dr. Chalk, and Dr. Chalk is there to go, well, he doesn't know law, he's not a lawyer, but instead of dealing with the law, the children's lawyer gives it to the quack, and then the quack looks at all the documents and goes, there's reams and reams of paper, and the reason was because I was begging, absolutely begging for 2 years for evidence, so that I could actually prove that the mother was and the mother's lawyer were breaking the law, and I wasn't given it. And so let's have a look at some of the criminal behaviour of first of all, the mother's lawyer and the children's lawyer. I'm just going to say that I've got to smile when I'm telling this, because I have tried it 6 times, and each time I keep on crying. So the thing is I have to do this the way I'm doing it, otherwise I'm just going to burst into tears, because it has been so horrid. But let me go on and explain. Now, this evidence wasn't thrown out of the courtroom by Magistrate Denbach, but she refused for me to surrender it in the final hearing. And the thing is she threw out 12 uncontested affidavits by the mother, because it proved beyond any doubt that the mother was a criminal, and that the judicial officers have tortured me. But let me go on. Now, on the left hand side you can see the mobile phone number 0418 658 393. That's my mobile phone number. Now the mother had gave me my daughter. I had her overnight, and it was supposed to have had her overnight, but what happened was it got a bit complicated. Let's start off at 5:05, that is that A. I had a phone call for 1 minute and 49 seconds, which is a stuff all phone call, you know, it's just a check, make sure Fiona's okay, and basically that was it. So, but what the mother actually put in B, the affidavit, and don't mind you, this was actually surrendered to and actually put into the police, and I was unaware for 2 years. I was not able to have a look at the subpoenaed material to find out that the mother had actually submitted this to the police 2 days before court, the first court hearing, and that Lucette May Collette, the mother's lawyer, had actually told the judge that there was 2 outstanding police reports. I'll explain the other one, and that gave the judge no alternative but to take my daughter off me and chuck me into a contact centre. And the thing was once you're in a contact centre, you're pretty well stuck. But and this is the criminal behaviour that legal aid staff get up to. Now, and I'll explain it more to the DPP. On the 29th of April, I took my daughter to see Fiona. I took Fiona to see John. John begged me to have Fiona to stay overnight, and I said I didn't want to. John threatened me, saying I was going to hide Fiona and I'd never find me. I was never going to use the credit card. She goes on, and just a whole heap of blur. But incidentally, what happened was I kept on calling her, and then I would ring once and then she hung up, because I got so tired of the phone calls, because she denied me to ring the landline. So she rings me back at 23:47 on the 29th, which is almost midnight, and I was saying that Fiona wasn't settling and that she needed mother's milk. So I was hoping that she would come in a cab. Anyway, she didn't, and then I rang back, and then she rang at 2:24, and I still couldn't get her to come, and so then she rang me back again at 2:30 in the morning, and she told the court that she was having trouble getting the cab. And the thing was that was just an outright lie in the courtroom. But you can see that at 2:59, eventually, she decided to jump in a cab. And so she came in a cab, and then what she was trying to do and allege, and this is why Miss Collette didn't provide this evidence for 2 years, was that without the mother's mobile phone proving that this criminal activity, that she had to stay there all night, the poor thing, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, at 7:14, that she called a cab and left my house. That was her story. But the thing was I was given the mother's mobile phone because it was probably chucked out the window of my daughter, bless her, and it was found on the road in a different town, and I actually got a phone call because they rang the home phone number, and of course I went and picked it up, but the mother didn't know that I had the mobile phone. So one of the SMS messages, it said at 6:26, which was in the morning, it said, "Please don't stress, let's find you a car, please don't hate me, please, how did Fiona settle?" The thing was I was concerned how Fiona settled that night, and the mother tried to suggest that, and she told the court that definitely she was not at my house, and definitely this is the only night that she was ever called to my house to pick up my daughter. So what she did was she told the police that she was in basically like a hostage situation, quite a few times, you know, different things, and the thing is and then she keeps on coming back, you know, it just all doesn't make sense. But on this time, she stated that she stayed there all night and that she had to sleep in the little room, and I denied giving Fiona back and all this type of thing. And basically the evidence that went before the court proved beyond any doubt that this never happened, and that this was criminal activity. And when I started proving this, what happened was the children's lawyer just panicked, because I was telling government, I was complaining that there was criminal activity that was done by the mother's lawyer, and the thing was the children's lawyer, who'd been ignoring me for 2 years, she panicked, and instead of actually dealing, and she refused to allow me to come and show her the criminal activity, I kept on writing and writing and writing, and so what she did was she actually took all my political statements to government, and which is illegal, and brought it into Dr. Chalk, along, and basically instead of actually dealing with law, she decided that let the quack handle it, because the quack is not a lawyer, and he's not going to look at the fraud on the court. And of course there we have it, Dr. Chalk, and we know that, you know, his suggestion is going to go get a gun and shoot myself. So the thing is and then he tried to suggest that the children's lawyer, that I was stalking her, you know. But the thing was all I wanted to do was prove that this is criminal behaviour of a lawyer and a mother, and to remove a child from a father. Stay tuned, we've got more to come. This is only just one criminal behaviour. We have 300 of these to go. I'm hoping that the Director of Public Prosecutions is interested in my case, because the whole judicial system, we have 18 criminals that got to go to jail because they tried to hide the fact that this criminal and that the mother's lawyer acted criminally.